Well, for each commencement ceremony, one graduate is chosen to speak on behalf of the graduating class. The graduate chosen for this ceremony is Nicholas Crouse. Today, Nicholas is receiving his Bachelor of Science in Computer Science from the School of Engineering. Since transferring to SIUE from the University of Illinois, he has excelled academically and made the Dean's List every semester. In addition to his academic accomplishments for the past 2 years, Nicholas has been working with the Illinois Department of Transportation while taking classes at SIUE. While working with IDOT, Nicholas has contributed to several significant projects, including the Intelligent Transportation System, currently in development. He has created software that calculates and processes information such as travel times, road work, and accidents that ultimately will load into smartphones and allow users to choose alternate routes. His contributions at IDOT have helped build the infrastructure for current research that will ultimately allow direct integration with automobiles. One of Nicholas's professors had this to say about him in a letter of recommendation. Nicholas has a superior academic record, social awareness, and self-knowledge. While his grades are impressive, there is more to his academic story. His academic accomplishments are the result of a genuine pursuit of knowledge. We can count on him to regularly enhance the classroom learning experience for other students with insightful questions and commentary. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Nicholas Crouse as our speaker today. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Provost Ferguson, Chancellor Vandergrift, members of the Board of Trustees, and all of the deans and faculty who are here today. Congratulations to my fellow students on earning our degrees, and thank you to SIUE for the education that we've received these past few years. Lastly, and most importantly, a huge thank you to all of our friends and family for coming out this way today to celebrate our accomplishments and to usher us into the next phase of our lives. But what are we going to do in that next phase? There are certain traits that have brought us this far: patience, dedication, and will. But what are we going to do with the MA, MS, BA, BS alphabet soup that follows our names? We have to find a challenging problem that we are passionate about. A Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, meditated on this subject. He wrote, "People who love what they do wear themselves down doing it. They even forget to wash and eat." When they're really obsessed by what they're doing, they'd rather give up eating and sleeping than to quit practicing their arts. Now, for those out here today, if you're this passionate about what you've learned at SIUE and what you are about to embark on, then congratulations. I'm happy for you. And if not, there's still time left to find something that brings you closer to Aurelius's level of enthusiasm. I remember a high school math teacher of mine. His wife was 61 years old and had decided to go back to school to study acupuncture because she wanted to open up her own shop. And I asked her, "What spurred this? What made you so interested in doing this? Why?" And she explained how it was something she had always been interested in, but with family and everything else, there had never been a good time to pursue it. And finally, she had just accepted that it wouldn't be something that she would get to do in her lifetime. But then she met someone who was 80 years old and owned a string of tanning salons. And while talking with them, then she found out that they had opened up this string when they were 72. They had begun their work only 8 years ago and grown it so far. And from there, she decided there was no sense in waiting any longer. Now, obviously, most of you are under the age of 72, so if she doesn't have an excuse, none of you do either. But being passionate about something is crucial, because it's passion that carries you further when you go after your goals. When patience falters, when dedication fades, and when will dwindles, you have to have some sort of internal core to fall back on, something to set a fire in your gut. An American philosopher, Ralph Waldo Emerson, wrote, "They who made England, Italy, or Greece venerable in the imagination did so by sticking fast where they were, like an axis of the earth." This is the attitude that we need going forward, one of patience, dedication, and will. Because future challenges are going to require their practice even further. One thing we could rely on while pursuing our degrees was a steady string of demarcation points. Now, what I mean by that is we'd ask ourselves questions with definite answers. Things like, how many semesters left until I graduate? How many weeks until this semester is over? The questions change going forward. The answers become more fluid. Instead, we'll ask ourselves questions like, how many days until my first paycheck? How many days until my first rent payment is due, or until my parents throw me out of the house? How many years will I work at a particular job, live in a particular area? There are no known answers to these questions. Now, Ryan Holiday, an internet writer, wrote about the kind of self-control that it takes to have true achievements. He wrote, "Consider Darwin and the theory of evolution. 8 years spent studying barnacles to tie up a few loose ends in his theory. 8 years. Now, Holiday pointed out, we listen to numbers like this without really thinking about the human cost involved. To think about how it feels to work on something day in, day out, never knowing if the flash of insight or spark of brilliance that you're hoping for is ever going to arrive, if something will ever happen to tie all of your work together, to make it meaningful. And to be able to do that calmly, gracefully. My classmates, that's a real burden that we have. To push forward, dealing with the stresses of family, friends, coworkers, strangers, and to work with them patiently and with empathy. Knowing that when they fall short, it's not because of something that we said or did, just because of how they felt at that moment in time. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, "What is divine deserves our respect because it is good, but what is human deserves our affection because it is like us." Now, many of you are going to remember those times over the past 4 years where things didn't work out okay. You're going to say, all right, what if I do have to start over though? What if everything just goes kaput? But few losses in life are impossible to recover from. You're going to be thinking about those times that you disappointed yourself, the people around you, your family and friends, and you just couldn't keep all of the plates balanced that you were trying to spin at once. But the fact that you're all here today is proof that over time, things turned out okay. Things have been all right. SIUE provided a map, step by step, for learning a field, a trade, a skill. Going forward, the map must be of our own creation. So go. Weave your will into the world around you. Grow your relationships, your community, and everything else that surrounds you. Do it with patience, dedication, and will. And do it passionately. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.